Hello there. So as you've seen, there has been dramatic developments in volatile conditions over the recent period. Behind me is Peel Park, a clear pocket of accessibility behind fences. And that's really going to be the picture for the rest of this period. Within this landscape, the closest we'll get has been caused by the original enclosure of a shared space of non-property and multiple enclosure synths of commonly held property. This park was built to compensate this loss, and isn't it wonderful there in the brightness? This is what happened quickly overnight. So as we move through, you'll see those civic buildings popping up as the mild moralistic momentum built with the idea of a unified public slowly progressing as an emerging pressure. We've still managed to maintain this appearance, but that's the last of this benevolence. Things will change over the coming period as the new front moves in and fragments. So as you have seen from above, paternalistic plans and ideas are intact, although through the course of the descent, as we have gone to ground level, some of this has been obscured. But we can still see here evidence of the vestiges of the brief social gains we experienced recently. With the first ever public library visible there, carved out within times of endless growth, fueled by that sticky power clashing with exploited meat flows from the south. As it is dismissed to a little island of social responsibility, it will become an isolated micro-image, as behind it rushes in a wave of interest. And as that pushes on through, we will see some breaks in this growth and prosperity. Some of that will just lift and dematerialise, and some of us will be plagued by that, for some time restricted to weak annexes. But for some, it will equally strengthen boundaries and expand in mobility. Two parallel spatial expansions are accompanying this immediate deterritorialisation. On the one hand, a closer, denser solidifying of many bodies, and on the other, a lighter immateriality of a few minds. Antagonism remains at present, but will continue to stabilise into the passive archive, safe and over. As we look to later on, moving slightly eastward here, we see that this progressing, reaching the intimacy of the domestic, cleaning out and re-erecting glass paywalls that will continue to thicken. But how to be rid of something that is not immediately visible, you might say, that will be hidden within love? Desire confused for commodity fetish means that his desire, cannot exist without these value structures below. They are reproducing our patriarchal love units, which in turn demand a static realism. So interestingly here, we will briefly accelerate through the invisible wall. And looking ahead to the immediate future, it might look like this is the public returning, but don't worry, in the background is positive debt. This skill was built flexibly and immaterially to anticipate the moment when welfare wholly goes out to tender. Watch out for the squinting causing low visibility in the brightness, for we will see incidents of acceleration in a circle. Increasingly, we will realise that we had found its limits, its shape, and that the previous rupture was virtual. As it gets purer and more refined, it will become a reflective film that mocks us, mimics us. Hanging in there, but now entirely separated as we look to the period ahead, things turn much more localised and fully re-territorialised. For the long-term visibility is set to become extra clear over the coming period, whilst at the same time things becoming more distant, with instances of celebrity advertising alienation to gate out tragedy, and this will eventually develop into a blatant mirror, in that it will be desirable to live as close as possible to it, so one can only see oneself. The line between public and private will be diminished, with security guards acting as zero-hour conquerors, shifting boundaries and behaviour within according to future work speculation. The ground here will become accessible in appearance only, and as we tap to get closer, faces are erased and individuals absolved. So now I really want to get here to show you what's happening. The timing of it we still have a little bit of doubt on, but we expect that then we'll share in these images that are absent of recognisable people, either in front or behind the lens. We'll see no conditions which have imposed themselves, nothing is manipulated, for the light is constructed and the composition is unimpeded. Some places could see that increasing. Fantastic conditions for screen grabbing new lands with all the family.